I miss me. Is the reading culture dead? Are teenagers not reading anymore? Today, I'm going to be talking about books and teenagers, so grab a cuppa and let's talk about books. From what I can see at school, is that nobody wants to read what they are told to, which I can understand because I was in that place. I had the same feeling as they had. That changed for me. How did that change? I don't always enjoy the books I get, but I still read them and I get through them. So why can I read? Why are there teenagers that do read and read a lot? Well, let's talk about that. A bit of background on myself. I'm 18 years old and I live in Holland and I have an English background. So I'm half English, half Dutch. And I currently only read English books. I think about a year ago I didn't read anything. I would sometimes pick up a book, but I wasn't at all aware of the book community. I didn't know anything about the book community. A lot of people don't know about the book community and what it is doing online and for publishing companies and authors. But the book community is such an underground place. It's on every social media and a lot of people don't recognize it and a lot of readers don't recognize it. I have a few friends at school that read during the summer holidays, but they don't know anything about the community and they feel stuck and alone, when in fact the book community is a social place where you can talk about your books to fulfill your heart's content. It is buzzing with people. It is great. So, how did I get to this point? In April 2021, I found a YouTuber on YouTube called Mel Reads. Mel Reads is a booktuber, and the title was 10 books to read if you're in a romantic mood. And oh boy, I should have known because I fell down a rabbit hole. I watched Mel Reads, Melissa Dimmer, I watched Steph Boer, Jack Edwards, all of the big booktubers. Was I about to get thrown into the deep? Because I found a link to someone's Goodreads. Goodreads is an app. It's kind of like a social media for readers, for bookworms, where you can kind of select the books you want to read, you have read, you can give them ratings, you can have conversation with people about it, you have a reading goal. It's just a wonderful place and my eyes lit up. I was on Goodreads for hours and hours. That's where it kind of all started. I watched videos on what I've read in March, my TBR for August, and my TBR started filling and filling and filling. I think now my TBR is at 180 books. It's crazy. I will never finish all of them, but it was just this crazy feeling like I've been missing out. That's what it felt like, and I wanted to join, so I did. So the first month I started reading, I got a lot of recommendations and I kind of bought the most popular books at the time. I ordered a few books on bol.com and I was so excited. The first book that I read when I started my book community journey was Twilight. I wanted to read the Twilight books because I love the movies, but that's a whole different story. But I wanted to read Twilight so badly because I heard about it. I was like, the books are so much better than the movie. You should read them. So I bought them. I was kind of pushing myself to read 100 pages a day, and I felt good about myself. But I was reading the books that were most popular at the time. So, The Cruel Prince, which is still popular, of course, but The Cruel Prince, Song of Achilles, Normal People, which is brilliant. And this is when my parents said, wait. They were so excited, but my dad was like, you're already spending too much money. You bought an entire like book set that you need to calm down. So they bought me an e-reader, and I got the Kobo, and it's brilliant. A lot of books in Holland are not sold, and you have to import them from America or England. And a lot of new adult books or erotic fiction um, can't be sold in Holland or is very expensive. So books can end up being €25, which I'm not excited for. So my e-reader helped me get through that so I could read all the books I wanted to. A feature on Goodreads as well is your reading goal. So when you make an account or at the start of the year, you can put in how many books you want to read that year. I put it at 20 books, I think, and I ended up reading 30. And now, of course, my goal's way higher. If you want to check my Goodreads, it's in the description below. And I'm probably on there more than Instagram. I think Goodreads is such an attractive app for a lot of readers because it's organizing. What I do is I put tropes or like the age range for the book. I go into my Goodreads, into my books, young adult, and I look at the books I want to read that are that age range. Same with tropes. If I want a sport romance, I can just type in sport romance in my TBR and I'll find a sports romance. What I mentioned earlier is I watched a YouTuber called Melissa Dimmer. I'll put her channel below as well because she really sparked my interest because she started a Discord channel. So I joined and I didn't know what was happening. I kind of joined to see people I can talk to. But it's actually so much in it. If you're a reader and you haven't looked at any book clubs online, please do, because it's so helpful and cool. We have different chats for different tropes or for different events. One of the things that was in her Discord channel was a book of the month, and what she does is she has a list of books she would like to read this month, and we vote on which book we want to read the most, and then we get one book which is voted the most and we will read it, and we have a special chat for the book so we can talk about the book while we're reading it. And at the end of the month we call with each other and we talk about the book in its entirety. It picks up the amount of books you want to read in a month. My current situation is that I do read a lot. It's 2022, my goal is 50 books and I'm 15 books in, I think, and it's going well. I read a lot. I read a lot of different books. I order a lot of books, from what you can see on my shelf. I'm still active, like I said, on Goodreads and on Discord, and even on Instagram. I have a book Instagram. If you want to follow that, it's down below. For this project, I wanted to experience more, so I actually talked to my teacher and I talked to another teacher at school, and she was talking about her friend working in a library called Lokaal in Tilburg, and that sounds fun. Like, I love bookshops, I love libraries. I've never worked in one. That's interesting. And I organised that I could work there for a day. So I went to Lokaal in Tilburg. Very pretty building. I got a full tour of the place and the history of it. Very pretty. It's not only a library, they have seats to meet. They have kunsthal, so that's art. And they have like a gaming nook, which I'll talk about a bit later. So yeah, it's a great community place, hangout. And I wanted to work there for a day to kind of see what it was like. For me personally also, to see if I can pursue a career in literature, but I really wanted to see what it was about. So I went there quite early, and I went there and I got a tour of the place, and I got my little badge, and I got to work. So basically what I did is I looked for the books that people were putting reservations on online, and I was sending books to different libraries for people who wanted it. It was such a fulfilling feeling, because picking up the books you know you've read and you've enjoyed and somebody else wanting to read it is of course very special. It's a very special feeling. So picking up Murakami or Sally Rooney was just such a great experience for me, and it kind of made me want to write in the book, like, oh, such a good choice, but of course I can't. But I interviewed someone that worked there who was kind of showing me around, and she said that the job isn't intense. It's, you can kind of choose how much effort you want to put into it, but of course it's a very calming place, and like she said, it's like a very meditating space. Like, even if you have a really tough life, being in a library and being in a quiet space that isn't hectic or crazy is just very calming. I helped a lot of the foreigners that were there, and I helped them around, and that was very fun. And also, like she said, it's a very wonderful place because different ethnicities come to the library, and it's a place of community. I asked her a few questions. Do young people come for the library, and what books do they get? Mainly ages 14 between 18 come here to get their books. I see a lot of teenagers at the romantic section or English literature. They choose English books a lot of the time because of the English book we offer. A lot of teenagers say the Dutch books are different types of books. When she told this, we had a conversation about it because I totally agree. I go to the library a lot to look at the books, and especially English literature. I think a lot of libraries should really expand, and especially in the smaller cities, expand their amount of English literature, because that's what a lot of teenagers want to read. So at the end, I asked her a question, and I asked her, is the book culture dying? I personally don't think that's true, and I asked her as well, and she said no. Not at all. Because it's just like CDs and vinyls. CDs is the newer variant, but that doesn't mean that people don't love vinyls. People still buy vinyls and play them. So that's the same with books. So a lot of facts I've been talking about in this video is from a survey I made, and probably a lot of people that are watching this have filled in the survey. And if you still want to fill in the survey, I'm very intrigued, so link is down below as well. I published a survey for a lot of people, so I put it in the online book clubs I'm in, I put it on my personal Instagram, people from my school, and friends outside of Holland. So I kind of put it in all different places. I put it on Facebook as well, on Reddit, and I sent it to my friends. A big part of the people that fill it in are readers, so that's good for me to know. And a lot of them read more than 30 books a year, which I thought. What I concluded from my research, and the question I asked myself is, how are teenagers going to read more? Nobody forced me to read, nobody asked me to read. I started reading because I found other people that read, and I think that's the most important thing. It's not forcing kids to read, but letting them in. Libraries should have a better arrangement of young adult fantasy and romance. I think schools should be a bit more open about it and shouldn't put too much stress on reading books, or they should get a bit more modern books so that you can ease the students into reading. What my school did, which was very good for reading, was they held a book festival, and I think they should be in all schools. Basically what they did is they rebuilt the library as a bookstore, and they gave us each a token to get a free book. This really intrigued people, and they wanted to see the books that were there. You could order books as well, so that is of course very good for me because I got a free book. And even like my brother got a book, not a book I would choose, but crazy that he bought a book. Like, he doesn't read at all, so that was a big success. And the teachers also started their own little book clubs on like their recommendation of books. And I could also help people choose a book. A lot of my classmates asked me for recommendations, which was of course very nice. I think, no, the book culture isn't dying. It's certainly not gone. It's just a bit underground, and a lot of people think that because it's a activity you do alone, it's for lonely people, or book readers don't have friends. Like, that is totally not true. I've probably been more social in my life than ever. Okay, so in this video we talked about the current situation now with teenagers and books, and how it can really evolve and how it can thrive, and that there's so much opportunity in it now and people should act on it. So I'm gonna get back to my book. And yeah, if you like this video, like it and subscribe. I'll probably post more, and I'm going to talk about the books I've read in April. So wait for that video, and I'll see you later. Bye.